Hey guys, this is Aaron from Tennessee on Hydraulics. On Facebook page, a lot of you guys have been watching the build for the 64 Impala that we're doing. The frame at this point is done. It's been painted. We're putting the rear suspension, front suspension back together. As a matter of fact, here in a little bit, we're about to put the engine back in the car. We wanted to take this time because we've had a lot of people asking questions about, hey, how do we put the cylinders in? How do the springs line up? You know, how do we do this? How do we do that? I want to take a minute here just to kind of show you how that's done. One thing to bear in mind, you'll notice this stock OEM upper control arm has not been reinforced yet. It will be reinforced, I promise you. All right, so don't think we're done. When on a 64 Impala, all right, you'll notice that on some cars, maybe even not Impalas, but like G bodies, the cylinder, which we have here, right, comes up and it tends to lean on the inside. It tends to point in towards the engine. Well, what we did after watching some other videos online, courtesy of Alex over at Hydraulics, to offset the drill that you standard would normally do for the shock mount. All right, so what that allows us to do is to keep the cylinder as vertical as possible. All right, that way it helps us keep the spring right here, 2-ton pre-cuts, and the cylinder as straight up and down as we possibly can. All right, so we have the cylinder here that you see is an 8-inch cylinder. We got the cup at the bottom that's already screwed in, all right, and we got the spring. And you said we put it in. Make sure the cup seats inside the top of the spring, like so, and that the spring is seated in the bottom lower control arm, just like you see there. All right, and that right there with pressure on it is going to keep the two together when you're hitting switches. Okay, some cars you'll notice that you see the tie rods up here. You may have to extend those a little bit or keep them where they're at, depending on whether you extended the upper control arm or the lower control arm as well. All right, so once we get to the point of extending the A-arms, and this is a personal preference how far you want to go, a half inch, an inch, or 3/4, however far you want to go. You extend the A-arm, that way the lower control arm doesn't slap against the spring house, or basically the spring housing here, right? You don't want this part to slap against that, right? So when you extend it, you're going to see the camber of the wheel actually push out a little bit. All right, so if you've ever seen like a G-body's Regal that hasn't been extended and it's locked up, the wheels are literally pointed in like this. That's called your camber. Well, when you extend it, it's going to take the wheels and it's going to point them outward a little bit, so they're more straight up and down than pointed in. All right, a lot of hoppers like to do this. That way they're not slapping against the frame, and they can get a little bit taller spring stacks in there so they can get those heavier duty springs so they can hop a little bit higher. All right, we're not going for that. This is not a hopping car by any stretch of the imagination. Just simple